Alright, so today we're going to be taking a look at my custom 1/6 scale horror collection. This is the final setup, and it's been a few years since I've done a video. Last time I did one was when I just started collecting in the hobby. And yeah, my collection's much improved since then, so I wanted to do a video. A little update on my collection since it's now completed. Let's start over here with the Sideshow Freddy. So, obviously this is Sideshow Freddy, but it's been you might notice a little difference to it. It's been 100% reworked by Paul Manzi over at Distress Labs. He re-weathered the sweater, added some grime and dirt to it, made the colors a lot more screen accurate. He also weathered up the glove, added some rust to the blades, and made the glove a lot more grimy and gritty looking. The face, when you first get the Sideshow Freddy, you'll notice that the paint's a little dull. I'm not sure what he did, but he made the colors just pop a little bit more and show a little bit more. He really did a good job making these colors come out and show a little better. Then on top of the hat, he added some rips and tears in the hat and repainted the hat, made it look a little tattered. Really, really good detail. Really glad I got this reworked by him. And yeah, gotta have a Freddy in your collection, so I'm pretty happy with this one. And that's my Sideshow Freddy that's been reworked. Alright, moving on. Down here we have my Captain Spaulding from House of 1,000 Corpses. I'm a big fan of House of 1,000 Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Love those films. Being a fan of those films, I definitely had to have this figure in my collection. So let's start with the base and the body and everything. So the base and the body is done by Creep Customs. And Creep Customs did a great job tailoring this. They did a little bag of chicken over there with the Spaulding symbol on it. They did the gun, they did tattoos, they did the weathering, they did everything to do with the body and everything else. And they did a great job on this. Really, really good. The slogan that's on the back of his shirt in the movie is actually on the back of the shirt of the figure. I'm not going to turn it around, but it's there. And now, let's start with the head sculpt. The head sculpt is done by One's Customs, and he absolutely killed this sculpt. The likeness to Sid Haig is there, and it is just an amazing sculpt. And this is by far one of One's sculpts, like the best sculpts I've seen him do, honestly. And I'm blown away by this. He used real hair for the beard. Really, really good detail. Great paint app. The hat is done by Creep Customs, but yeah, this figure is really, I'm very happy to have it in my collection, being such a big fan of those films. And yeah, this is just a must-have for me. The detail on this, I mean, the head sculpt and Creep Customs body, like, together makes a really good figure, and I'm thrilled to have this. So yeah, that's my Captain Spaulding. Moving on. Down here we have my H2 Warlock Myers. This is a collaboration between David Tucker over C Creations and One's Customs. The head sculpt is by One's Customs. Great paint app on this. Great weathering. Love the hair work on it. Very accurate to the film. And then the body is done by David Tucker, as well as the scalpel over here. And David did a great job tailoring this outfit. He does a great job on Myers coveralls overall, and does great work in general. The color is very accurate. You can't really see it, but they're pretty weathered and just very well tailored to the body. The build is there. Really captures the build that the actor had in the film and the stance. And yeah, big fan of Halloween 2. And yeah, very happy to have this. Moving on down, we have my Sideshow Part 3 Jason that has been slightly customized. By customized, I mean I added a One's Customs head sculpt and hockey mask. And One's did a great job weathering this mask. Very screen accurate. And underneath it is the Stan Winston sculpt. And I'm not gonna take the mask off, but the detail is there. The axe is by Tanila. Look at that axe. Great detail on that. Really brings the figure, makes it more screen accurate and look good. And the Sideshow clothing, the clothing they did on is pretty good. I'm actually happy with it. I think they did a really good job on the clothing and the body and everything. If you pose them just right, you can really capture the stance and the build that he had in the film. Richard Brooker had a kind of a hunchback and whatnot, so I kind of got him posed where you can kind of see that hunch on his back. And yeah, so if you pose him right, you can make this figure look really, really good. But yeah, overall, great figure. Big fan of Friday the 13th Part 3. Jason's probably my favorite slasher, so yeah, Part 3 Jason, I had to have a figure of that in my collection, no doubt about it. Alright, moving on up to the 78 Myers. We're going to start with the knife. The knife is by Chris Yeast over at Distress Labs. Amazing detail on this knife. And Chris, in my opinion, no one does a better 78 knife than he does. It's just my opinion, but I think he does the best 78 knife in the hobby, hands down. All right, a little pumpkin over here. And the clothing and the body is all done by David Tucker over at C Creations. This is a 2020 set. I like how he went a little darker on the coveralls. I think that's really cool. I kind of wanted him to do that, so I'm really glad that when he said they did that, they did it. Yeah, and he padded up the body to add to make the build accurate and everything like that. Yeah, great set for David. And now finally the head sculpt. The head sculpt is by One's Customs. This is a one-off sculpt, according to, I asked David, and he said this is a one-off sculpt by One's. And I'm very pleased with it. The hair work on it is phenomenal. Just the paint app and the sculpting on it is just insane. I love this sculpt. And yeah, I'm very happy to have this figure. The 78 Myers is like, I feel like everyone who's a horror fan should have one in their collection, just because it's just an epic version of Myers. And yeah, so when I started collecting, I knew I had to have a 78 Myers in my collection. Just had to have one. And I could not be happier with this particular piece right here. I am blown away by the detail on it. David and One's just killed this. So yeah, great piece. Moving on down. Down here we have my Friday the 13th Part 7 Jason. And yeah, with the electrocution scene diorama. I'll start with the diorama. The diorama is by Paul Manzi over at Distress Labs. Real resin water. I mean, the water is great detail. And I got Tina's psych report over there. Paul killed this diorama. It is just insane. This is the prototype, and I am thrilled to have this. It's really, really good. The detail on it is just phenomenal. The wood pole over here. Now, I have a bunch of Friday the 13th Part 7 weapons, but I just have a few of them displayed at a time because it looks too cluttered. Over here is the tent stake by Chris over at Distress Labs. I stuck it in the pole. Like that detail. The machete is also by Chris, but it has been weathered by Paul over at Distress Labs. And I think they did a great job on this machete. Love it. And yeah, I'll start with the figure. The boots and the clothing are done by David Tucker. And he did a great job tailoring this and everything like that. I ended up reworking the clothing and tattering it up a little bit more and changing the color of it to make it a little more screen accurate on the color, but didn't need much customization. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. The body is custom. The boots are also by David. They have the real laces and everything. And yeah. And the chain around the neck is also by Chris over at Distress Labs. Yeah, he does those. He does amazing chains for the Part 7. So if you want one of these, definitely hit him up. And for the top of the figure, this is like the best part right here. The One's Customs head sculpt and hockey mask. Once does the best Part 7 like sculpt and hockey mask in the business, in my opinion. And he just is, it really makes this figure really shine. So yeah, a lot of artists involved in this little setup, but very, very happy to have it. And all these artists really just made this thing work, and I'm very happy to have it. It's just a great piece. And being such a big fan of Jason and Friday the 13th franchise, I had to have Part 7, and Kane Hodder's my favorite horror actor, so definitely had to have a Part 7. No doubt about it. This is a must-have for me. And yeah, very happy with it. Moving on down. Down here we have my Creep Customs Pennywise. Now this particular Pennywise, they'd done them before, but this particular one was a one-off. And one-off, I mean, it came in a custom box and everything, and it had came with 4 battle damage heads plus this head. Came with a bunch of body parts and stuff like that, 7 arms, 2 different bases, and it came with a bunch of stuff, a bloody neck piece and stuff like that. So it came with a bunch of different things that the other one didn't come with. So when I heard that he was that Creep Customs was going to be releasing this one-off Pennywise, I jumped on it. I had to do it. Yeah, I restyled the hair, made the hair a little more screen accurate. I did some just stylized it a little bit. I repainted the forehead, and just because it was a little, the paintwork was good on it. And don't get me wrong. I just wanted it to. I just felt that I could make it a little more screen accurate, so I added a little more white to it, and I think I did a pretty good job. But Creep Customs nailed the sculpt, the look of Pennywise, and they did a great job on the tailoring on this figure. It's just a great figure overall. It's pretty tall and very accurate to the build of the Bill Skarsgård in the film, and they really captured the look he had. And then looking down here at the base, if you look down there closely inside the sewer, there's a sculpted Pennywise face in there, which I think is a great addition. And I think that's great attention to detail. I'm very happy that they did that. They did a great job on the shoes. Overall, I'm just very happy to have this figure. I love the 2017 It film. Love the original too, but I honestly think I'm a bigger fan of the remakes than the original. Yeah, not the biggest fan of the second one, but the first one I really enjoyed. So, had to have a Pennywise. Moving on down. Down here we have my 1/6 scale Leprechaun figure by Viola Watraka. She's based out of Russia. So if you're interested in one of these, hit her up. You can find her on Instagram. It came with a little bag over here, custom made, and it came full of gold. I added the gold to the diorama, or little stand, I should say, not diorama, to make it look a little, just look a little cooler. And there's this hat, great detail on that. Got the gold chain. She made a custom body and sculpted the hands and just hand tailored this thing, and I think she did a great job. And the sculpt, I think, really captures the look of the character in the film. I think it's really good. There aren't too many artists that capture this this figure or this character. So if you're interested in one of these, I definitely hit her up, because like I said, there aren't a lot of artists that capture the Leprechaun figure. So yeah, if you're interested in if you're a fan of the franchise or fan of Leprechaun in general, definitely get one of these. Great detail and a great figure. All right. Then over here we have my Ghostface figure. Now this one is it's a Super Mad Toys outfit and gloves and boots and mask and knife and walkie that he's holding. But this has been modified. This has been customized. This has been completely reworked by David Tucker over at C Creations. He weathered up the boots. Look at that. He weathered up the gloves. And yeah, he switched out the body, because the body that came with this, I guess, was a little flimsy. So he took the clothing and the mask and gloves and boots and everything off, and switched out the body. And the body that he used, he added some padding to it to make the build a little more accurate. And I'm not kidding when I say this. The body he used, there is like not a loose joint on this body at all. Like, it is crazy how like durable this body is. Like, it's probably one of the most heavy duty bodies on a figure in my entire collection, easily. Like, this thing there's not, like I said, nothing is loose on this. This thing is, I mean, he did a great job reworking this. I'm very happy to have it. Big fan of the Scream franchise. The Scream franchise, to me, is just a really fun franchise, and I really enjoy it. Especially the first one. Wasn't the biggest fan of the fourth one, but the first three I really enjoy. Really excited for the new one they're doing as well. So, yeah, this was a big. This is one of my grail pieces. I had to have a Ghostface in my collection at some point, and when I had the opportunity to get this, I jumped on it, man. I had to do it. I had to do it. So, yep, great figure. A little close up of it, and yeah. So Superman Toys outfit, reworked by David Tucker, and great figure, great detail. Yeah, just epic. Then down here, we have my concept Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning Leatherface. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning is my favorite Texas Chainsaw film, easily. I know the original is great. I love the original. Don't get me wrong. I love the original franchise. The original two are amazing to me. But I gotta say, I'm a way bigger fan of the remakes. And honestly, Andrew Bernarski, who played him in that film, was just a freaking beast, and he was just very intimidating. And yeah, so this is an original figure by Joel Robinson. He did the head. Great detail on that. Great hair work. But the thing is, I had this completely reworked by Daniel Terzo. So Daniel Terzo redid the entire body. He got a new body. He sculpted onto the body. He basically redid the entire body from the ground up. And the chainsaw is also by Joel, but also completely re-weathered and gored up by Daniel as well. Daniel did a great job goring up this chainsaw. Look at the detail on that. And I really like what Daniel did with the body. He really made it capture the build that Andrew Bernarski had in that film. And yeah, I love the details he had, like the bandaged foot and the bandaged hand. And I love how he added the gauntlets. And I'm really glad he didn't go too crazy with the concept, because he said he wanted it to still capture the look that the character had in that film without going too crazy with it. And I think he did just a great job on this. I love the chains on the chest. He really did a great job weathering this and fixing this up for me. I'm very, very happy with it. And yeah, let's get down to the weapons over here. This sledgehammer is by Chris over at Distress Labs. Same with this cleaver. And yeah, this figure is very, very well built, and I'm very happy to have it, being such a big fan of the film. And I really, really think that I mean, I wanted one of this particular version of Leatherface in my collection for a long time. So the fact that I have one now to this caliber is just, I still can't believe it. I mean, I'm still blown away that I even have one. So yeah, thank you to all the artists involved on this one for sure, and all the other artists I mentioned already. All you guys do a great work. But yeah, this figure, Daniel did a great job on this. Very, very impressed. Moving on down. Now this figure is by Gaz. He did the figure and everything like that, and but it has been completely repainted and reworked by Daniel Terzo once again. Daniel re-weathered all the fabric down here, repainted it, added some new stuff. He gored up the hands. He repainted all the armor. He re-weathered the cape. Just re-weathered this whole thing. Repainted the head. Resculpted the tentacles because the tentacles were broken off. Resculpted those. He added some. He had made the eyes orange. You can't really see it, but they are orange, just like in the film. And Daniel also did this diorama. There's some body parts and stuff on here. I have the stone over here from the movie. Let's see that. But yeah, great diorama. And Gaz did a great job on this figure, but it definitely needed some rework. And Daniel did a great job doing that. I'm really glad that I got it reworked by him, because this figure just really, I mean, it shined before, but Daniel really turned this into something really great, and really turned it around, and I'm very, very happy with it. So And I love the Wishmaster film. Wishmaster was a great film. The first two, at least. I wasn't a big fan of the third and the fourth at all. They really sucked. But first two, Andrew Divoff, who played the Djinn, did a great job at the character. And, yeah. The film had a lot of big people behind it, too. The first one had Wes Craven behind it. It also had Harry Manfredini doing all the music. And he did the music for all the Friday the 13th as well. And also it had... it starred Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, and Tony Todd, so it had quite a big people in it, and very, very, very good film. It's a little, not everyone knows about it, but if you're a fan of horror and you like checking things out that are new, or checking things out you haven't seen before, I definitely recommend Wishmaster, at least the first two. And yeah, it's my Wishmaster figure, Djinn. Moving on down. This is my Victor Crowley from the Hatchet franchise. This figure is also by Gaz. The build he has on it is very accurate to the film, which I'm very happy with. It was a great figure overall, but the thing is, I had it reworked and repainted by Paul Manzi over at Distress Labs. The paint was good on it before. Don't get me wrong; it was really good. It's just I felt that the paint was a little flat, and I think Paul really redid it and just really captured the scar, the hatchet mark on the face, repainted this whole thing, and I think he did a great job on this, honestly. Really good job. And yeah, he reweathered the overalls and everything like that, tatted up the pants. I think Paul did a great job on this. And Gaz did a great job on the figure in general. Just needed a repaint. And I think Paul really captured that in reweathering. And over here we have the Hatchet. The Hatchet is by Chris over at Distress Labs and weathered by Paul over at Distress Labs. And then over here we have the Gas Belt Sander, which has been completely reweathered and repainted by Paul. And the head sculpt is also by Gaz. And that one hasn't been repainted or anything, but it's still a good sculpt. And yeah. Love the Hatchet franchise. It's a fun franchise for sure. And yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. Yeah, very cool. Great figure as well. Kane Hodder did a great job playing Victor Crowley. And since he's my favorite horror actor, I definitely had to have a Victor Crowley and Jason figure of him, of his versions of Jason and Victor Crowley in the collection. So definitely a must-have. So very happy to have this. Paul did a great job. Gaz did a great job. Yeah, great figure. Moving on up. Then over here we have my Uber Jason. This figure is by G Models. G Models did a great job on this. I mean, this is just a phenomenal piece. I'm blown away by the detail on this. The sculpting is insane. Start with the base, the little metal base, and Jason X symbol right there. All bloodied up real nicely. Very cool. Yeah. Look at the sculpting on the leg. I mean, this thing is just... The sculpting on this is just mind-blowing. It's really good. Look at the space machete he made. I mean, this whole body is completely custom. Just sculpted. The sculpting is just insane on this. The mask is removable. I'm not going to take it off, but there's a really cool sculpt underneath. I know they didn't show him unmasked in the film, but I'm really glad he put something underneath the mask that's really detailed, and it's there. It's really cool. And as far as I know, he's still making these, so if you're interested in one of these, hit up G Models and ask him about these, because I'm pretty sure you could still get one. So, yeah, great figure. I love how the clothing kind of laps over onto the metal, kind of like a symbiote kind of thing. Just great detail. This figure is just overall amazing. The detail is just phenomenal, and it really captures the build Kane Hodder had in that film. I mean, I could not be happier with this piece. When I had the opportunity to get this, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm not getting this. So, yeah, very happy to have this. Being such a big fan of Kane Hodder's Jason and everything, I mean, if I'd have slept on this and not bought it, I'd have been very upset, because this thing is just mind-blowing, as I said. Very, very good. Moving on down. Down here we have the RZH2 Dream Sequence Myers. Now, sorry, the head sculpt's a little dark up there, but it's there. It's just by, start with the head sculpt. Head sculpt is by One's Customs. And One's did a great job on this. Really, he's really good at capturing the RZ Myers look. I can't think of anyone that does it better than him. The blood work on it, the beard coming through. This is just a great sculpt. And David Tucker did the body. And it's on a 14-inch tall body, so it's taller. And he padded up the body, and I think David did a great job bloodying this up. I think the blood work on it is just phenomenal. The build is there. Really captures the build that Tyler Mane had in the film. And One's also did the severed head and the shard of glass. The shard of glass is just amazing blood work, great detail. And One's just did an outstanding job on this severed head. Look at the detail on that. Just, it's amazing what he did with that. Just incredible. And the diorama is actually by Paul Manzi over at Distress Labs. This is the band diorama. This is the prototype. And this base wasn't originally made for this figure, but I decided to put it with it. And I think that it goes very, very nicely with this figure because Rob Zombie's was a little more on the gory side than the original, big time. And I think this diorama really, really goes well with this figure and makes it shine. So I think I'm going to keep it displayed like this for a very, like, forever. I mean, I just think it goes very, very nicely together. Look at the diorama. Just great, great work. And this is a great piece. Love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Despite what people say, I really, really enjoyed it. And, yeah, great figure. Got a little hobo sculpt over here as well. Good detail on that. Really, really good. Like I said, One knows how to capture an RZ Myers head sculpt better than anyone, in my opinion. Hair work on it's really, really good. Yeah, great. Moving on. Down here we have my concept Cropsy figure from The Burning. Now, the head sculpt is by One's Customs. And I think One's absolutely captured the look of Cropsy. I don't think this is just amazing. There's not much words for this other than One's just nailed this sculpt. I think he did an outstanding job. Look at the detail on that, the burns. It's just great paint app as well. And the body and the machete and everything is all done by Daniel Terzo. And he also added a blanket on the back of the figure, roped around. He wanted to go for a more bloody look and gored up and everything. And in the movie, you'll notice he had black gloves on. And he was a little more, his clothes weren't as tattered. But Daniel added the bandage hands like for the burns and stuff. And I think that's a real nice touch. And I like how he added the machete. He said he added the machete because he was kind of going for a Cropsy / Jason concept. And I think Daniel just amazing. This is the detail on the blood and everything, the tattering. It's just insane on this. And yeah, Daniel just killed this. Once did an amazing job on the head sculpt as well. Daniel also made this knife to go with it. Look at the weathering on the boots. Just a great, great piece. I actually hadn't seen The Burning till recently, honestly. Daniel told me about it, and he told me to check it out. He said it was free on YouTube, and I checked it out, and to be honest, I was blown away by it. It's kind of a Friday the 13th ripoff, but it's a lot more bloody than the first Friday the 13th, and a lot more, like, the kills are a lot more intense than Friday the 13th. And Tom Savini did the makeup effects and everything like that on Cropsy and all the kills. And I think that the film was actually very well done. And I'm surprised I never checked it out sooner. And this, even though I just watched it recently, the second I watched it, I knew I had to have a Cropsy in my collection. I knew it. So yeah, I definitely had to have one. So yeah, if you have not seen The Burning, check that out. It is free to watch on YouTube. So all it'll cost you is your time. If you end up not liking it, all it costs you is your time. But it's a great film, And yeah, I recommend it. And this figure is just one of my favorites in my collection for sure. All right. Down here we have my RZH1 Loomis figure. I'm not sure who made this one, honestly. I really don't know. But I got this from a friend of mine, and I'm very happy to have it. The sculpt really captures the look that Malcolm McDowell had in the film. The paint app's really good. And the clothing is very well tailored to the body and everything like that. Very, very nice and very, very good. It's not, none of the joints are loose or anything. It's very, very well built. He with a little handgun over here, a little revolver. This is a really cool figure to have. There aren't a lot of RZH1 Loomises in the hobby at all. There really aren't. There are not a lot of them, and when I saw this, when I saw my friend was getting rid of this, I had to have it. I did, because, like I said, there aren't a lot of them out there, and I definitely wanted to have one in my collection. So, yeah, look at the detail on that one more time. Great detail. Just a great piece. Great addition to the collection. I was after one of these for a while, so I was really, really glad when I had the opportunity to get this that I got it. So, yeah, great detail. Love this figure. Moving on up. All right, so we got my Halloween 2018 Myers. This is a collaboration between David Tucker at Sea Creations and Once Customs. Once Customs did the little base over here, real wood and everything like that, little porch setting. I threw in a little pumpkin over there. The pumpkin didn't come with it or anything. I just thought it looked cool, so cheap little pumpkin, but it fits the part. David Tucker did the body and everything else, and I think he did a great job. Look at the blood work David did on the hand. Just amazing work on that. He did the knife. And this is a one-off set by David. He only did one of these sets, and I think the tailoring on the body and the look and everything is very screen accurate. And I think this is just amazing. I'm very happy to have it. Look at the blood work he did on the hammer, how it's kind of dripping off. And he also added on this set old man hands. If you look at the hands, they're old man hands, and they're kind of like the detail. I'm glad he added that, because it really adds that nice look, because Myers was aged in that film. So great addition to detail, great attention. Look at the hand over here, really, really good. Yeah, it's a one-off set by David, and I'm very, very happy to have it. The head sculpt is a concept head, a one-off concept head by Once Customs. The dead eye is in there. You can't really see it, but it's there. Yeah, it's a great head sculpt. Love the hair work on it. The paint app is really, really good. And I'm a big fan of the 2018 film, so I had to have an H40. No doubt about it. Very, very good. It's just amazing. And yeah, I'm gonna look at the figure. There's the detail on this thing. It's just great. I think David and Ones just did an outstanding job on this. Great, great piece. Absolutely insane. Blown away. Then moving on down. Down here we have my Sideshow Collectibles Ash figure. Now, this is nothing customized about this. This is a mass-produced figure, but Sideshow really captured the look of Bruce Campbell in that film, and I think that Evil Dead 2, and I think that they did a great job on this sculpt. I think it's one of the best sculpts in 1/6 form of Ash. I think it's just phenomenal. The clothing's really good. Came with the Necronomicon. Chainsaw weathering is really, really good. Got him standing on the Henrietta head, which also came with it. Got a bunch of extra hands over here. Not much to say about this figure other than it's really, really good detail, great sculpt, and if you're a fan of Evil Dead 2 or the Evil Dead films in general, and you have the opportunity to pick this up, then I definitely recommend doing it because it is a great addition to anyone's horror collection, and it's just a great piece. Great piece. Love the detail on it. Yeah, just amazing. All right. Down here we have my H2O Myers. Now, some people may not like H2O, but I'm a big fan of that film. I really enjoyed it. It's not my favorite Halloween film, but I really enjoyed it more than some of the other sequels. And I wasn't a big fan of how they switched the mask out so much in it. Like, they did like 4 different masks. But yeah, still a great film. I really enjoyed it. And not a fan of the follow-up to it, Resurrection. Resurrection was a pile of crap, but really, really enjoyed this film. One Customs did the head sculpt, and I think he did a great job on this sculpt. The hair work, everything is really, really good. Just amazing. Look at the paint app on that. And David Tucker did the clothing. This is a 2020 set by David Tucker. He did the knife. He weathered up the hands. And he added padding to the body, and I think David did a great job on this. I mean, honestly, it's just really, really good. It captures the build he had in the film, and I think the coveralls are very well tailored to the body, very well weathered. And yeah, had to have an H2O in my collection because I'm a fan of the film, despite what some people say. I really enjoyed it. So that's my H2O. And down here, we have my H4 Loomis and my H6 Myers. The H4 Loomis is by Dark Artist. Now, for those of you who don't know who Dark Artist is one of the OG artists in the 1/6 custom hobby in horror. He unfortunately doesn't do figures anymore, but he does amazing work, and I'm very happy to have one of his pieces. I customized this a little bit. The jacket was closed when I got it, so I opened it up. And also one of the hands was just a normal flesh tone hand without the glove. And in the movie, both hands were gloved. So I went on eBay, and I found a glove hand that's identical to the other one. Same design and everything. And I popped it on the figure, and yeah, made it work. I also bought a silver gun, because in the movie his gun was silver. And the one it had was black, so I switched it out to that. I think a nice touch. The build on this figure really captures the build that Loomis had. Great tailoring to the body. The clothing is very, very nice. And the head sculpt is very good as well. You have the burns on the side. Just great detail. I have to say, Loomis from Halloween 4 is my favorite version of Loomis. I don't know why, but I'm a very big fan of that version of Loomis. So this is a really cool figure for me to have. Great detail on that. And over here, finally, the last figure. We have my H6 Myers. The head sculpt is by none other than One's Customs. Great hair work on this. Great paint app. And I customized this quite a bit. The clothing is by 3-0. I switched out the boots. I didn't weather them, but I switched out the boots, and I think they look very nice. I switched them off. So 3-0 ones are no longer there. I just put another pair on that I had laying around. The knife is by David Tucker. And on the hands, those are also 3-0, but I added a gloss varnish to them to make the colors just kind of pop a little bit more and make the burns look a little more realistic. Because the paint was a little dull before, but now it looks a lot nicer if you look at it. And in the movie, George P. Wilbur, who played him, he actually was a little bit on the heavier side. He wasn't fat, but he was on the heavier side in that film. And so I switched out the body and from the 3-0 body. So I switched out the body and had another black t-shirt laying around. So I switched the t-shirt they had with another one. And I added a fat suit to the body. And I think that it really captures the build of that actor now perfectly. So, yeah. So I customized this quite a bit, but yeah, it's a great detail. And yeah, that is it. That's my H6 Myers. All right, so that is my custom 1/6 scale horror collection. The final setup. Been years in the making, but I finally got the setup that I wanted, and yeah, I think it's finally complete. So let me know what you guys think, and yeah, video long overdue, but it is finally done. All right, thanks for watching, guys.